My name is Maureen Ferry, and I am on the organizing committee, and I have had the chance to work with Adedoyin Adeleke with his organization, ISNAD, International Support Network for African Development. Just quickly, briefly about him and his many achievements. He's the founder of this nonprofit to network education across Africa. And he is a PhD student at the UNESCO Chair for Energy and Sustainable Development and Department of Energy in Politecnico di Milano. And he's also a mechanical engineer from studying in master's in Nigeria. So briefly, what I love about his organization, ISNAD Africa, is that he's bridging the knowledge gap in sustainable education and practices by leveraging global network of scientists and engineers to mentor students across Africa. And I've had a chance to experience the powerful effect of this firsthand by volunteering, I guess, advisor role for students in Cameroon, Uganda, and Nigeria. And so just a brief example, recently we participated in a environmental education exercise for K-12, where students were able to design a biogas system to fuel their school kitchen, so providing 200 students 2 meals a day. And they proudly presented this project and troubleshooted all the engineering, and they presented it to a bunch of kids in Wisconsin. And so there's so many levels of interesting things going on of the youth learning and networking and reaching out, global education, et cetera, et cetera. So I'll leave it at that. My experience is with the K-12 sphere, but I think a lot of the folks here are also working at the university level. So Adedoyin, maybe you could also speak to that. And with that, I will let you take over. So welcome, and we look forward to your presentation.
Okay, thank you very much. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, beautiful. So first of all, I want to appreciate Maureen for creating this privilege, and also the entire planning committee for the conference. We're very grateful. Sorry, I've actually been sick since the last weekend. I did not mention it to Maureen so that she will not be sorry about it. So I'm just trying to recuperate. But we were very excited to have this invitation and to share experience and what we've been doing to contribute to development in Africa. And Maureen was talking about the K-12. Of course, our program actually, K-12 is only a cascade of the university level. So the environmental education program, the secondary school level in which we have participated, is only a cascade of the university. So I'm even going to speak more about the university initially, first of all. All right. So once again, thank you very much for having me. International Support Network for African Development, ISNAD Africa. Sorry, I have to hold my mouse. Okay. If you look at the, I'm on the second slide now. I don't know if.
Yes, we can see it.
Oh, great. So that's fine. So basically, if you look at our logo speaks about our objective, our approach, and even our vision. Now, if you look at the logo itself, it's circular, which represents something around the globe. And then you see the map of Africa lifted up. That is, we are calling the entire globe to say, come on, guys, please, let's put our hands together to support Africa, to raise it up. That's why it's up there. And you see the instrument we intend to use, which you find something like a wind turbine, which represents sustainable energy issues. You see something like a book, which is education, and plus a lot of other things, other instruments that we're using, like for instance, the media. We are strong about using the media among other things. So basically, we're saying that we are raising global multi-stakeholder support for clean energy transition and climate resilience in Africa. But in the recent time, we have moved, we have added other pillars of into our framework, which brings our work into complete of the green growth complex. So we're raising global multi-stakeholder support for green growth in Africa. ASCUS Africa is a network of about 1,500 professionals, researchers, students, and youth from about 139 countries. This is a summary of all our programs and initiatives. Of course, there is one we're about to launch in the next few weeks, and that's another one which is not here. Because I will not be speaking about that, I just mentioned the name. eco-knowledge derivative. And what does that speak about? Basically, it says that all over the world, you might be aware that there are a lot of reports being generated. Based on our rough estimate, we realized that between 2014 and now, 3 reports, knowledge products come out, are published every day on a particular, different aspect of green growth across the world. And we are trying to use that to address policy. But the question is, who is reading those reports? So we came up with a new initiative to see how we can effectively work with those reports and knowledge products to make them something that we can use some effective dissemination strategy, communication and dissemination strategy to deploy towards the uptake of the offerings and provisions of those knowledge products. So basically, the ones I'll be talking about, the Mentoring for Research program, which is a capacity building program focused on educational research, awareness creation, advocacy, and policy. But this is at the university level. We also have the environmental education, which brings that to secondary school level. Africa for Nature Earth initiative was born in response to COVID-19, looking at the linkage and the nexus between COVID-19 and development, and then nature and biodiversity issues, to see how our response and attitude towards nature could change so that we can prevent future pandemics. Our Green Growth Africa platform is our baby, and we're hoping that will be launched within the next 2 weeks, within the next 2 months thereabouts. Sustainable agriculture projects is something in the pipeline, actually, to see how we can deploy practice, demonstrate the practice of conservative agricultural practices, and then when we have practiced it, train others, train local farmers, and then train youth with it, and then advocate for policy as well. So that will capture the entirety of my presentation. Indeed, one must appreciate the global stakeholders, different development organizations, multilateral organizations that have been supporting Africa. Indeed, the commitment to Africa, development in Africa has significantly increased in the recent years. However, I love to say as many times as possible that Africa is too rich to be poor. I wish I can say that again with more passion and energy. Africa is too rich to be poor. When you look at the map I've shown before you, you realize that there is not a single African country that doesn't have something that they could utilize to bring about development and to improve the conditions of livelihood in their country. The challenge lies within the connection, the connection, which is about the transformation of those resources to wealth. You see that the lack of, the high level of energy poverty account for the low level of performance or poor performance of African countries on development indices. Now, this cut across the reasons for this. Of course, there are so many papers. I know many people listening to me are academia. There are so many papers that have explained different angles, different perspectives to the reasons why development in Africa is too slow in the catching up process of development. The development catching up process. But one thin line we have identified, which I personally identified, which led to actually starting East Africa, is that there is a thin line that cut across all these challenges. Talk about, let's take energy for instance, since we're talking about energy now. Look at developing financial models, generating new knowledge, policy and practice. All this talk about, the thin line that cut across them is capacity building. If we have enough capacity in terms of knowledge, in terms of human resources, we will be able to use our creativity and innovation to transform our resources to wealth. I've read so many papers. Africa has huge energy potential. Africa has huge energy potential. But when are we going to turn this potential to wealth? So, one more point before I leave here is that, for instance, in 2016, I was in a university in Europe. And for the first time in my life, I realized that 50% of the budget of the university was being sponsored from the industry, which shows that the education sector, the research in the university is impacting the industry. Industries are not, they are not primarily philanthropists. It is because they see value, that's why they're putting money there. So that also is lacking in Africa. So looking at all this, For instance, if you check the renewable energy jobs across the world, as of 2017, the 2018 report by ARENA, there are 10.3 million renewable energy jobs across the world. Africa accounts for less than 1%. Well, thankfully, there was improvement in 2018 in the 2019 report, which I've not shown here, but it's still less than 3% globally. Yet, Africa is one of the regions with the highest renewable energy potential in the world. Where you see the difference, for instance, the renewable energy that Germany alone is generating is far, far, far more than what the whole of Africa is generating. Now, the issue is, if you check German universities, for instance, Italian university, for instance, you see that they have developed new curricula to develop human capital to harness the little renewable energy resource they have compared to Africa, where we remain stagnant relatively stagnant with our curricula of 1944. Therefore, I like the need to develop human capacity development in Africa. But when I noticed this, because this was really my thinking at the beginning, and when I realized this, I asked myself whether I should sit. Of course, I was an individual. In fact, I realized this thing as a master's student in Nigeria. I asked myself whether I should wait for somebody else to do it or try to act. I decided to act, and I'll tell the real story towards the end. I hope I have the time. Okay, so I came up with this initiative called the Mentoring for Research Program, saying that, okay, in our universities, we don't have, unlike in America, in Europe, where you have courses like MSc Renewable Energy Engineering, MSc Environmental Policy, and things like that, to some of these new emerging courses. But we have students in Faculty of Arts, we have students in accounting, we have students in theater art, we have students in engineering who are willing to do their thesis on, for instance, in electrical engineering, to focus on renewable energy. But however, the challenge they also face is that when they come up with this research idea, the university tells them, hello guys, good idea, but we don't have supervisor for you. Therefore, we are limiting creativity. Some of the ideas that would have helped us to transform our energy and development outlook, we are putting them in the shelf unexplored. So we said, okay, fine, let's look for these guys. Actually, the story I'm telling you happened to me. I hope I have the time to show you a short video. Now, let's look for these guys to study any discipline as far as they want to do their thesis on any of the thematic area, environment, sustainability, and climate change. And then we look around the world for people in the industry, in the academia, in think tanks, in governments, in international organizations to support them remotely. Therefore, we formed something we call the research tripod. That is the students, the mentor, and the supervisor. Often the supervisor might not know much, actually, that they allocate to the students, but our mentors are able to support them remotely as mentors, and then become research people. And that has been very, 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 very impactful. Almost without funding, we have run this program for 3 years. We have impacted 111 students, masters and PhDs in 22 countries across Africa without funding. So because we're limited in funding, what we wanted to do was, when we generate this knowledge, one of the things that we wanted to also solve is that education, like I mentioned before, education really, there is little impact of the work in the academia on the industry and governance. So we wanted to try to see how we can, beyond the best of people, they just publish in journals, which is fine. However, politicians don't read papers. So there is a concept we designed to bring the government to table, not in a conference, but in a very dedicated meeting, to bring government to table, to bring industry to the table, and then these students discuss their research findings with them. And that was going to open a lot of opportunities, but because that involved the funding part, which we don't have, we have shelved that part for now. And the other part is also seekers, which is sustainable, almost like a green growth outreach. But let me leave that for now because of time. I'm worried that I might not be able to finish if I don't rush. So basically, this gives us an idea of what we have done. In 2018, when we opened applications, the first one of the first indicators of success for me that gave me joy was the number of applicants we had in 2018, which is 256. It was really, really amazing for me. I can't forget that number. Because I mean, it was just something I just thought of in my room because of my own personal challenge and all that. So these are the number of applicants and the number of people we have impacted in MRP for 15 countries. So lessons learned. One, we realized that despite having good ideas, when the students have good ideas, they are limited by a number of factors. The outcome of their research is limited by a number of factors. For instance, I'm writing on my PhD in Europe. I'm speaking to you from my office. I've never had reason to understand how to look for a job up to now. Why? I mean, probably to work in the night to raise money for myself. Why? Because there was scholarship that brought me here. Therefore, I sit down with my computer. I can work from morning till night. I can put all my brain in my research. But in Africa, I can't tell you sincerely, many of the people that you see doing postgraduate studies is because there is no job. Therefore, they want to keep upgrading their CV. So they look for many a job, maybe teaching in secondary school just to have some money to sponsor their education, while looking for big job. That's why if they find big job while doing the research, they go away. So and then even while doing the research, because they are doing many jobs, they are not able to focus. So work study limits student commitment to research. So that's one of the reasons why we are trusting, making efforts to get funding. I mean, a $500 for a student in a year solves their problem in terms of research, and they can sit there and face knowledge generation for development on the continent. The second one is the timing and short duration of MSc research. Some MSc research, even though in paper is six months or 1 year, some of them do it for just 3 months. So we found a way to actually address it. We're working around this actually. Poor professional and online communication skills. When we link up somebody, a student who, because in Africa, many of our lecturers, I'm sorry to say this, but it's just a reality we are facing, which we have to really work on. If we don't acknowledge our problem, then we cannot solve it. We have to be real to ourselves. When you send your thesis to your professor by email in Africa, it sometimes look as if you are rude. They prefer that you print it. We really engage with people by email. Now I'm linking a student who does not know how to use email. I'm linking him up with somebody in the World Bank, and then he's writing an email as if he's chatting. And then the person is pissed off. Excuse me, you are rude. The guy doesn't know. The guy in Africa doesn't know. So we find a gap in communication skill, limiting them in engaging the global stakeholders. Of course, need for research funding, I've mentioned that. So basically, I don't know if I can. Maureen, can you play this video? Can you play this video? No, there is a video there. Oh, there is a video here. Is it possible to play? Oh no.
I think, Maureen, you can do it like using the PowerPoint.
Oh, that's why I didn't want to convert to PDF.
Yeah, because this is a PDF, yeah. But Maureen has the PowerPoint.
Okay, just to save time, Maureen, if it's possible to forward the video, the PowerPoint to somebody else who can help, or if you can help to extract the YouTube links, then you can send them. We can just this while I'm still doing the presentation. So I'll continue, and then we can come back to the video later on. I'll be grateful if you help me to do that, because we'll use a lot of video. Yeah, if you can extract the link from the PowerPoint to the chat box, would be very useful. Thank you very much. So I continue. So in doing this, because we didn't have funding, we tried to use in-kind supports. For instance, we were able to get the opportunity from CIPSEM, Center for International Postgraduate Studies in Environmental Management, supported by German government, to get to select some of our students, mentoring students that mentees, we call them mentees, that participate in our program, and then they organize short courses in Germany. So they select from, based on the partnership, they select from our students and sponsor them. This was the first set that went. We sent 2 people. This guy is from Ghana, and then he's studying in Nigeria, and then this one is from the other person is from Ethiopia. And both of them went, and the other one that should have gone last year because of COVID-19, they had the program remotely, and it was fully sponsored actually. So the other one, We're also very grateful to Waterloo Institute for Sustainable Energy in University of Waterloo in Canada. This is actually a mentor. The only man in suit here standing is a mentor of this guy beside him. That's the guy from Egerton University in Kenya doing his PhD. And he used his good office as a director to get support for the students to travel to present this research finding the conference in Spain. So we look for organizations and centers and institutes across the world who are organizing short courses, seminars, fellowships to support us, who can partner with, to also increase the capacity of the program and the offerings of the program. So Maureen, when you have these web links, because there are quite a number of them, please let me know so I can play them. It's also here. So coming now to the program that Maureen participated, which is the environmental education program. Basically, what we notice is that, okay, we are helping, we are supporting students to build capacity to generate new and indigenous knowledge of growing in Africa, but at university level. Is it okay? Can we also try to engage them at the secondary school level? So we tried to see how we can engage secondary schools in Africa, secondary school students in Africa, to identify environmental challenges and needs in their community, leverage on the knowledge they have gained in secondary schools, secondary school subjects, mathematics, English, theater, arts, elementary science, to conceptualize solution ideas to these challenges or meet these needs, and then hands-on experience in implementing their projects with funding, mentorship, and international experts. The great thing about this is, which it's one message I wanted to say, is that all of this we started with $0. That's why the first part of it was these students in Nigeria and the other students were in Cameroon. Were in South Africa. All we just had was wanted to do something. So we started and we did the first one was talking about career in environmental space, to encourage them to pick up career in environmental space and all that. But as we progressed, we're able to use results that we have gotten, things that we have done little, to demonstrate to people, and we got a bit of support, which has really helped us thus far. So now, I was in Cameroon, this was in Cameroon, speaking at the Mada International College to students. Speaking at the Mada International College to students on environmental stability, I think 2019. Yeah. So now, based on the outcomes that we have done, I must indeed appreciate the North American Association for Environmental Education, who granted many. I got a number of awards based on the ideas behind some of these things. Based on the award I got, I was named actually the first African to be granted, given the 30 in environmental education award, actually. So thank you very much. I think I'll come back to the video towards the end. Now, based on the award I got, there were a little funding that I could apply for. So I applied, also competitive, and I got. So very little funding again, but we were able to upscale from what we were doing. So we made a call to secondary school students. We said, come on, guys. Now we're saying identify challenge. Some of them have identified challenge in the previous year. We're saying come up with innovative ideas. They came up with innovative ideas. But subsequent year, we said, since we have a little money, let's see how we can support them. Maximum, the one that got the highest was about $500 to see what we can give you to now implement this idea at a scale. And let's look at what they have done. The beautiful thing is that they started planning. And this was where we now got experts like Maureen, who is supporting us, people, different other experts who are supporting as advisors. Each school we have an advisor and an associate. Associate is one of our team members, and then advisor is people like Maureen that we got from across the world. So this school is recycling plastic waste into irrigation channel and storage. It's a school in Ibadan in Nigeria. So this was the architectural design at their level for both the irrigation garden, which you can see the outcome here. They turned plastic. What is impressive is that they did it themselves. They collected the plastic bottle and they were joining them. One of the challenges they had, which would have stopped their project, was that they realized that the plastic bottles were leaking. I was surprised at what they did. Now they turned the leaking plastic bottle into drips. Instead of passing on ground, as we can see here, they now turn the plastic to pass on the plants themselves. So the drips that would have been wasting the water now became very useful to them, which was for me something innovative. And we have had presentation with students across in Europe and America, and they were very impressed with what the students have done. But they did not stop here. The same team went on to collect plastic bottles and say, okay, we have an agricultural garden. Where do we store the produce when it comes up? And they use the same plastic bottles that is causing environmental challenges, blocking the drainages. I think you can see here how they block drainages. Look at it here, the third picture and the fourth picture. So they did that and then collected the bottles and used it to build a barn where they can store. You can see the irrigation system and the barn here, and that's the team of the students. That's in Nigeria. Also, we also have in the northern Nigeria where we have the security challenge, we also had some students also working on plastic. Now, they said they can use plastic bottles, collect them also from students, and convert into interlocking blocks. Very impressively, these interlocking blocks are stronger than the one made with cement. So what they did, they went to across secondary schools, engaged with the students and said, okay, we'll give you books and pen if you can get us plastic. So everybody went looking for plastics. And with that, they were able to get about 1.5 tons of plastic, and then use the machines to crush them. Crushing them, they heated them, and then it became, they made over about 300 interlocking blocks, which they are using for their, what's it called? For their, their interlocking blocks, which they are using to design their environment. And they also want to sell it going forward. Now, this is a school in Kenya. Biogas plans to convert animal waste into cooking. So this school is a school in a rural community, and the students that attend there are underprivileged students, very poor environment. They are from slums, actually. So even getting them on the internet was quite challenging. But this school is a boarding school, and they spend a whole lot of money to get cooking fuel and also firewood to cook. So this guy said, and the school has 13 cows in their school. And the student said, excuse me, there is something called biogas. Can we design something that can convert the animal dung, to cooking fuel in our school? And honestly, they did. Look at them working. They got all the apparatus working. And then they were able to set up the system, and it's working. I don't think I have enough pictures here. I would have shown where they were pouring the dung. Of course, they work with a technician. There was a technician that guided them, and then some laborious, but I think that's the man you see that is not on shirts in the first picture. And you see how the cooking gas came, and there is no, the CO2 emissions that come from cooking is not there, number one. The school said, with the 13 cow that produce cow dung that pollute the environment and affect their health, now they have been able to design this system that they have designed, not only produce gas, one, of course, clean up the mess, convert the mess into cooking gas, which has decreased their cost of cooking fuel by 1/3, 33%, which I find very impressive. Going forward, this is a team of students that realized that, there is an indigenous plant called spectrum, indigenous to South Africa, that is drought resistant, so it doesn't require much water, yet it has high capacity to capture CO2. So they decided to propagate this plants across their region in South Africa, which was also impressive. Now, this is the last, I think this is the last school that I'll talk about, which is also a school in, this school is in South Africa, and then this is, I think I'm still doing well with time, trying to watch the time. This is in Nigeria, where the students wanted to set up a conservative and sustainable garden. So what they did was look at the land. The land is quite not very loamy for agriculture, but they said they can use it and bring up something. So what they did, of course, they prepared the ground. They got, they wetted, they did harrowing and plowing, and then planted the vegetables that they were planting. Now, to improve on the quality of the soil, they did what they call, they made what they call biochar. Now, biochar is like getting not falling trees, but looking for waste wood, pieces of wood across, and then burn them. Now, how they burn them, because of the environmental implication, immediately they put, they dig a hole, put the plant there. When they put the plant there, immediately they put the fire, immediately they are covering it with sand. So the emissions will not be out, as you can see that they were doing almost immediately. And look at what they came up with, which improves the quality of the soil. And look at what they came up with. Now, we've been very privileged, just like Maureen helped to facilitate this engagement. There is another advisor from the University of Wisconsin in the US, who also facilitated Wisconsin. Okay, thank you. Now, now, she facilitated our engagement with universities with secondary school students in Wisconsin State, different students from different secondary schools, AScUS in the US. So that we just had last week, I had the second one. But this one, my university here, which is actually the best university in Britain, heard about what we're doing, what I was doing in Africa, and they were trying to also reach out to Italian students on the SDGs. They call it passion for action. Passion for, if you're supporting SDG, demonstrate it by your action. That's the meaning. So they were going to go to secondary school to engage the secondary school students. So they wanted to learn what we're doing. And then we had this engagement, which was very impressive. Sorry, I couldn't show pictures of the engagement we have had with the students in the United States. So that is about our programs. I don't know, can we watch some of the videos now? And do I have the chats?
Yes, Santiago, can you?
So I have two videos. One that's called second year impact video, and another one that's called 2020 final version, which is a platform video, I think.
Okay, you can hold on the platform for now. I will come to it. You can play the video, the second year impact video.
Okay, I'm sharing it now. I think you can all see it.
Yeah, it says Santiago sharing content. There we go.
Great.
Okay.
Can you hear?
Not yet.
Wait a second then. I'll have to do it again. Up. Yes. Share audio, share, and there you go.
Okay, I think we can be back to the presentation now. Okay, great. Really very, very, very handy. Okay, so can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. And we're
Oh,
back to the screen.
beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. So basically, we also started an initiative. The impressive thing, very encouraging for me, really. We're not where we want to be, but I think the progress we have made, looking at where we started from and where we are, always encourage me. Okay, I'll tell you about this. Now, the first tweet chat is just about the university in Germany. I said that they pick our students. I was imagining what we can do to just appreciate them at our small level. So I felt, oh, let's have them on tweet chat. They have been doing amazing things, selecting people from across developing countries across the world, develop their capacity, but not much is known about what they have been doing. Can we also, because we have quite some advantage on social media, okay, can we also publicize and make them public a bit, which was really impressive, and it became something big. So they were clocking about 41 years, doing this since 1970 something, I think 1978. And we said, okay, let's just talk about their experience. And it was really massive. This was in 2018. From there, we began what we call tweet chats. So we came into partnership with WWF, the Worldwide Fund for Nature. We got some support. I mean, basically, this was not even at support level. We felt, okay, there is this topic they are discussing, which is the new deal for nature and people. How we can coexist with nature, maximize our development without undermining sustainability and biodiversity. So we started what we call tweet chat. We engage with them live on Twitter. Of course, a lot of activity go behind the scene. The event itself is just 1 hour online, but a lot of activity go behind the scene. And that's why you see in the video, you see that there are some news reports that we got, many of the news reports in the media are from this. What became impressive is that the content will begin to turn out on Twitter, actually. On Twitter, during this tweet chat, began to be, the journalists found them newsworthy. And then it actually we've gotten on newspapers across Africa and even in Europe. So, so at the wake of COVID-19, there was this understanding which we had that looking at the emergence of COVID-19, it has nature, is related to wildlife. And then when you look at it, almost all the pandemics we have had, there was this one with rats, chicken, there was also the one that affected bird flu and the likes of them. They were all related with human going beyond the nature boundary between nature, humanity, and wildlife. So we found a very good reason to start an advocacy an awareness program to create advocacy on the way we treat nature, the way we encroach into nature. That's the word. We encroach into nature really is negatively impacted. You know, when we are trying to achieve development, we look at the social and economic pillar, and then we're trying to maximize them. In our effort to maximize them, we override and encroach and degrade the environment. Now, when the environment comes back to collect its pay, we pay with the gains of development that we have had. So the overall impact of development of our socio-economic engagement actually becomes negative or minimized. Just like flood. Look at flood. We spend a lot of money build houses on waterways and things like that, and then flood comes and then sweep it away, and then we are spending millions of dollars to come back to life. So we started this advocacy called Africa for Nature Earth Initiative. As we care for our development, the improvement of our livelihood, we should also care for the nature of the mother earth. So we implemented this with support from the Worldwide Fund for Nature in response to COVID-19 and to advocate for new deal for nature and for humanity to increase commitment to nature conservation and protection of biodiversity while realizing the prosperity of the people. Very impressively, we did this in 3 phases altogether within, I think, 19 weeks. And we were able to reach over 6.2 million people in Africa. We got over 300,000 people engaged talking about this on social media. And this fed into 24 news stories in Africa, in leading newspapers in Africa and in Europe. So, you see that this is UN Biodiversity that was retweeting our tweets. This is the Minister of Environment, Minister of State for Environment in Nigeria. This is the Global Youth Constituency. Oh, so I have to be quick. Okay, Global Youth Biodiversity Constituency, Ministers from different places. So I just move very quickly because yeah, these are some of the high-level people we have engaged from the UN system and things like that. Now I come to the Green Growth Africa platform, which is the video that's okay. I think that's the last thing we're going to play. Basically, it's supposed to be, this will be the Africa's first digital networking and convergence platform to facilitate system-wide linkages, knowledge sharing for policy making, global visibility, and partnership of green growth initiative actors and experts in Africa. Basically, the idea is this. There are some guys, just like our students went to go and do a small initiative. Different people are doing, even individuals, are doing a lot of initiatives across Africa. But they lack visibility. Nobody would build a website just because he went to go and plant 10 trees. However, planting 10 trees, though it has a local impact, there's a way we can put them together, bring them on convergence, and converge them on a platform, and use them to impact policy for local level. So that's what we're trying to do with the platform. And it's, I mean, it's already ready to, it's almost ready for launching. We're just waiting to get more partners and also to finish up with some administrative part of it. So it's an integrated and multi-stakeholder platform as a continental map, database, and resource library. I also want to mention, for instance, some universities, some researchers are looking for partners in Africa, and then on a particular, on a green good dimension. And then they need a database to understand what is, I mean, who is working on this in Africa and things like that. What bank wants to do an intervention in Africa? They want to understand what is the baseline, what is happening. So this is what this platform is all about. You permit me not to play the video now because of time. So maybe that will be the last thing we'll play. So in the course of doing this, we have had engagement with, I mean, we share platform with the Prime Minister of Italy, President of Central Africa Republic, ministers of government, politicians to influence policy, which is the kind of things that we're doing. And then we also influence academia. This is one of our partners, Africa, Affordable Energy for Humanity, University of Waterloo in Canada, where I was, to use knowledge that we're generating to impact policy. And I mean, this has been the global response, which is very impressive. We have visitors on our website from 15 to 20 countries a day, which altogether has come to about 120 visits by close to 60,000 people from 188 countries. And these are our team members who work with volunteers from about 10 countries across 5 continents and things like that. Yeah. These are some of our partners who support and contribute to us. Now, these are my key, some of the things I want to leave us with. I'm happy that I was able to wrap up. Now, the mentoring for research, is my personal challenge. I hope if you can pick up the video here, actually, it's a very short video as well. It's very important. Mentoring for research is my personal challenge, turn to continental solution. You too can and even do better and more. Some of the awards that have come to great the efforts that we've been doing. Some of the key messages I like to leave, which are some of my words over the years, is being born in a developing country comes with myriads of challenges, yet those challenges present diverse opportunities for impact. If no one stays behind in action, no one will be left behind in impact. A little here, a little there, so shall we surmount the global threats to livelihood and motherhood. Science, we have little or no impact until it is accepted by policy by politicians, practice by practitioners, and advocacy by CSOs. Therefore, we need to pitch science in an all-inclusive development language, the SDGs. Thank you very much. If you can pick up this video, I'll also be very happy because it speaks to how we actually started everything.
Do you want me to play the video or do you want me to put the link?
No, if you can, if we have the time, we can play the video. If not, we can put the link. But you can play that of the platform first. If we have time, fine. If we don't have time, we can just put the link.
What do you say, Maureen? Your session is the next.
Okay, then we can just put the link. I think it's better to just put the link.
Good.
Since we don't have time. Yes, please. Yes. So let's see if we have some questions just for the 2 minutes and 2 minutes possible. Oh, Maureen, you're
here. I'm talking and nobody heard me. Okay, I have, unfortunately, with our little late start here, we're squeezed a little bit. I'm wondering if there's any questions. From the audience.
I'm so amazed. I'm trying to think of questions, but it's difficult.
Yeah.
It's like, wow, it's wow, it's incredible. It's really, and it's so obvious, right? When they talks about it, that Africa is too rich to be poor, and all the resources that are there, and just a matter of, I mean, it's really a matter of education. It's really impressive. And it's spot on.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, I guess I want to know Adedoyn's secret to getting so many people to follow his lead, because he has a lot of great volunteers with his organization. And I know this is kind of what you need to get things off the ground. So I'm really impressed by that. I would like to learn that skill.
Yeah, I think if I may provide a response to that, it's very handy, really. It's about your interest, the interested people. Many of them are people that have been privileged to mentor personally over the years. And so when I was starting these initiatives, they were willing to contribute. And also, secondly, when we have volunteers join our team, one of the first things I try to do, though time limits me a lot, is to understand what is their goal. Before we bring anybody into the organization, we want to understand that, one, without anything from us, you have something that is driving you. The path you want to travel is similar to what we're traveling. That's one. Then two, we also pick interest in their lives and to see how they also develop. We've supported many to get international opportunity here and there, really very amazing opportunities. So I think picking interest in people's personal life really encourages without payment. Thank you.
Thank you. What I'm going to do right now is I am mentoring I'm overseeing another session at Adedoyn, so I'm going to leave and I'm going to hand it over to either Sybil or Santiago. Is that okay, just to handle these questions? Is that all right? So I apologize, and I'll catch up later. And but thank you so much. I'm the custodian of another talk, so I need to go. I apologize.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay.
Sybil, you have a question.
Yeah,
right.
so I mean, so I don't know if it's going to be the question or not. I'm in Chicago. I actually have a lot of African friends who are doing like really well. They're phenomenal. They would be amazing mentors. I know they would be 1,000 times much better than I would be. But they're not in academia, I mean, would you have a message for me to tell them? I can say, you should check out this website. You should. I mean, I don't know.
Oh, for sure. I'll send the website here. The website is in the PowerPoint presentation actually, and some of the videos we have, I think they have posted the links. If we have the links, I posted the website actually just now in the chat box, and also the YouTube videos will be very impressive for them to see. If they come on the website, just spend about 5 minutes on the website. They'll be very impressive by what they see. You go to under the programs, they'll be very impressive about what they see. And then we're not only, it's a multi-stakeholder engagement. We're not only focused on the academia. If we're focusing on academia, then we'll also be playing within the problem we want to solve. We engage with people in development, people in practice, people in policy. So that's what we do.
I see I'm on the video now, so I mean, I guess there's contact to become a mentor. I guess they have to contact or.
Yeah. I'll put my email there actually. So even if they don't have any other information, they can contact me. Then I'll forward the email to my colleagues that are in charge. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you. I'm grateful. Thank you for having me. I'm sorry for the.
I think Santiago has a question too.
It was kind of, the thing is that it's very difficult to ask you a question because you have so many things. It's just wonderful. But I would like just kind of to know, if kind of in a few words, like what has been so far the easiest thing, like building these up? Oh, can you hear me? Oh, okay, we cannot hear you. Okay, there you go.
Okay, so you can hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Okay, I cannot hear anymore. The battery of my plug-in went off, and I'm trying to see how I can change that. Okay, can you speak now?
Yes, can you hear me?
I can hear you now. Beautiful.
Fantastic. So I was just saying that this is
your reactions, and I'm very, very, very glad. Thank you very much. That's enough. That's enough. Very encouraging. Yeah.
No, it's fine. I just one quick question. It's a very kind of naive question, but what is the easiest thing that you do, like that you find doing what you do? Because you do so many things. What is the easiest part, and then what is the hardest part of your job?
The easiest part is the initiatives, is coming up with initiatives. The hardest part is the time to implement them. Yeah, but what I've found, to be very, very sincere with you, is I found that when we start little, I mean, I started in Africa with $0, $0 really. What I've found to be helpful is start with what you have. When I start what I have, the little result I'm able to get, I've demonstrated concepts that no, I have this thing is going to work, and then little people are able to support and all that. So, and then the issue of time. By the time we get little support and we employ more hands, then I'm able to borrow hands, have people that are more committed even than volunteers to support. So that is how we are taking the progressive. It's a progressive journey. It's a progressive journey. Yeah. Thank you. I'm grateful.
Wonderful. Is there any other question? Jens, Lou, Claudine, Hamilton, Rishab? Okay, so Hamilton is sharing. Do you want to talk about the initiative, Hamilton?
Yeah, I will not go deeper, but I drop you one link for a study of a colleague for quantifying a little bit the needs, the options for making electrification and renewable energy to scale in Africa. Maybe you know some of the people who participate, but we could talk a little deeper after by email. But thanks a lot for your presentation.
Thank you. If you can drop your email as well, I can copy straight.
Yeah.
We also have a hangout bar.
Yeah, yes.
Very important.
Okay. Thank you. I'm going to put this here quickly.